The first TV show I became addicted to, there were a lot. I was a big TV show addict as a kid, but probably the first one I actively felt like I had to watch every episode was The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin, which was a really heavily serialized children's TV show. Like, there was an overarching fantasy plot that was really quite dense with its mythology. Game of Thrones never grabbed me, Teddy Ruxpin did.
Dragon Ball Z, absolutely Dragon Ball Z. Pokemon was the first anime I sort of got into, but then so fast that made way for the violence and fighting of Dragon Ball Z. My biggest gripe with 9/11 is when I came home and they were still talking about it and I couldn't watch DBZ that day.
First TV show would have been the Batman animated series and Gargoyles. They were the first two cartoon series I saw after school that had a serious tone, and Gargoyles actually wasn't episodic, it had an actual long overarching story, and it was awesome.
I'm fairly certain it was Full House. So I was really small and I'd be in the sandpit and Mum and Dad would be like, Mackenzie, Full House is on. So I'd have to run inside and catch up on my Full House.
Avatar: The Legend of Aang.
Avatar: The Legend of Aang. I would watch just random shows on whatever's on when you get home from school. And most of them you watch and you're like, oh yeah, it's whatever, I'll catch an episode. That was the only show that every day after school, I'm wait, have I seen the episode before this? And then I'd go online and find the episodes I missed, and I've watched all of it 4 times because it's the best. So I used to watch that all the time.
It had to be Card Captors. I was a massive fan of Card Captors. I used to jump on my trampoline and pretend I could fly Sakura did.
My Wife and Kids, a sitcom from the 2000s somewhere. Me and my siblings, we would go out to our little hut thing in the backyard that had a little CRT TV in it, and it would go on to channel 2 at 6:30 because my parents were watching the news, and we'd watch My Wife and Kids together.
The first TV show I became addicted to, I feel the easy answer would be Lost, because that kind of came out when I was 12 and ended when I was 17, I think. So it kind of bridged the gap from teenagehood to late teenagehood for me.
I hate to say it, we've been Shortland Street. But we're talking back in Timuera Morrison days. Yeah.
Growing up in the 80s, most TV was episodic. So while I had some favourite shows, nothing was appointment television in the way that things are these days, because it was just a reset every week. The 90s, I started to get addicted to shows because they became more serialised, and the first one that I recall was ER. Hanging on to that, watching the growth of these characters over time. Very gripping stuff.
I think as a kid, SpongeBob SquarePants. Loved it. And then when I got older, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is a lot more addictive. And probably better. But SpongeBob is more Netflix and chill vibe, whereas Game of Thrones is more I want to watch this.
Netflix and chill, not the way I want to describe SpongeBob.
Nah, it's relaxed, it's you can just chill out. Not Netflix and chill as in chill, but chill as in eat some popcorn, hang out with your mates, just relax and just watch some SpongeBob. Rick and Morty, but not quite as good.